I think AI is very much here. There are a lot of different facets to AI. AI can be great. It's very good at identifying those emerging patterns, helping to do that triage. And it can also help, you talked about AI Assistant, and helps with the adoption and getting people on board to the platform. I think ultimately where this will come down of how businesses actually use AI is we need to start from the top. What's your overall objective? What do you want to do? And then we start to, AI will sort of happen for itself. What we don't want to do is just doing AI for the sake of AI.
Yep.
And ultimately that's what will probably catch people out, is that not having some sort of strategy around that. But AI is all about data, and the more data we feed it, there's a lot of data to us to work through manually, but AI can help us with that to get to the problem faster.
So basically, again, like you've gone for that process when you're talking about building up from the base and doing that, effectively, you're saying the same. You've got to that, you know your outcome before you started.
Yeah.
Not what it's going to be, but you know what you want to achieve, and that's the kind of thing we're talking about there.
Yes, and that, I mean, whether observability, assurance, ultimately we want to have a set objective of where we want to go to and where we want to get to, and that creates the strategy rather than just starting at a point solution and working backwards. You want to start from the top and get that lens down, and then that's ultimately where we've seen success.
I think that's another interesting one there as well. I mean, and again, just your personal opinion here, is that when I talk to a customer, they're not buying observability or assurance, they're buying an experience or a customer experience or a seamless experience.
That's right. Ultimately, particularly where we come in is that as a partner, is what is the outcome you want to achieve? We'll help you with the solution, and we can tell you the different tooling. And often what we have from an AC3 in our experience is that customers have all these tools and they're not really sure how to get the best value out of it. And they all will tell you that we can do observability, we can all do AI, and it's a matter of the first thing we actually start is what do you want to achieve and what's the outcome, and then we'll tell you where the best way is to, and then we can help streamline each of those solutions together.
That's very good. I could talk to you all day, Dan, actually there, but I noticed we're sort of running on time. So just to summarise that, if there was one capability that you say is non-negotiable for managing like the modern infrastructure, what would it be? What would be your takeaway thought?
I think the foundation for us in our learnings in recent years has been very much unifying your visibility, unifying into a platform, democratizing your data and removing that initial foundation. And then that really drives that operational efficiency, that sets your foundation for the automation, that sets your foundation for a lot of those objectives that we talked about today. But if you can bring all the data together and get everybody talking on that same language, and then if you also have that clear objective, that's your first initial step, and then it's how do we drive that further and roll it out. And also start with in a phased approach. Don't go big bang. It's often people want return on value quicker. So.
Very good. Well, thanks so much, Dan. I really appreciate that.
No worries.
Thanks for your time. Thank you.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, mate. So, just to kind of wrap up there, what sort of Dan said, really, the thing for us is, I'm sorry, I thought it was over. So, that unifying that experience coming together. As Dan said, it's really about bringing all those, starting with that foundation, sort of coming out. We can't boil the ocean, but let's start to bring those things together to simplify that process to sort of those AI ops or that automation, that process is together there. They're not there for the sake of it. As I said, AI is very hard for me to say. I also sound like I'm saying a nursery rhyme, but it's sort of bringing that together. Use it specifically. Don't be afraid of it, but use it in a context where you actually want to go. I'm going to be around for sort of questions there as well, but we also have various stands where this unification, this demonstrations there, all in the world of solutions, the various Cisco's, the AI data centers, the future-proof workplaces. Please come up and speak to us, and thank you very much for your time.
Welcome back to the studio. We were just at Center Stage where we were talking about AI assurance. But now we have a very special guest with us, someone who has flown here all the way from the US. I have Kevin Kennedy, our Vice President of Product Marketing in the Security Business Group. Hi Kevin, how are you doing?
Hi, doing great. Thanks for having me today.
Fantastic. And how are you enjoying Melbourne so far?
Love it. I'm from San Francisco, and this is San Francisco in Australia, so nothing better.
Beautiful, and also a coffee capital of the world.
A coffee capital, and I'm having plenty of that this week.
Fantastic. Well, I'm so excited to have you on because today we're going to unpack the idea of secure networking, and I really want to get into this idea of access manager. So I have a couple of questions. I'm going to go straight into it and we'll see how we go. So identity has become one of the biggest challenges in cybersecurity. What's driving that, and how is Cisco thinking around this concept?
Yeah, so identity is central to over 60% of the security incidents today. And you have more users, more devices, more things connecting from more places. And so it just keeps going up as a threat vector. And that's why you often hear the term that identity is the new perimeter. And it is definitely foundational for us to zero trust access in securely connecting users to applications, which is kind of the core thing around secure networking.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to double click on that. So I know we have identity around people, but you said things, and we don't normally associate identity with things. So, can you tell us a little bit more?
Yeah, so definitely people are important, and credentials are phished all the time. But if you look at the trends, the estimates are in the next 5 years, machine identities will outnumber human identities by 500 to 1. And so if you have a strategy that's only protecting users, you're going to have a big problem. Those devices, the printers, cameras, robots, all of those, they're running full operating systems. They're vulnerable, and when they're compromised, a lot of damage can be done. And so you really have to know what's connecting and what it's doing to be secure.
Oh, fantastic. To be fair, and correct me if I'm wrong, that kind of sounds like something that we already do with Cisco ICE. Maybe you can tell us how that fits in, and maybe we do use a lot of acronyms,
Yes.
so we probably have to expand that one out as well.
Yeah, so ICE, Identity Services Engine, that's exactly its charter, is to profile, establish the identity, authenticate at connection to the network, all of the devices. And then the traffic is tagged with that information, so you can then enforce policy about what it's allowed to access. So that is absolutely central to this. ICE is used by some of the largest enterprises in the world. It is very feature-rich, and as many feature-rich products are, it can be a little bit complex. And so organizations that are more on the lean IT side of things often find that a bit daunting to set up. And so many of them end up with just using the port that you plug a device into as the way to decide what it is and what it can access, and that's not really where they want to be, and it's not good enough from a security standpoint.
Yeah, absolutely. And I used to work with mid-market customers, and that was a particular challenge that was there for them because their security teams were either very non-existent or very, very lean.
Yep.
Now I'm moving into enterprise, and ICE is becoming part of that conversation. So going back to the customers who may be of that profile, who might find ICE a bit too complex for their environment at this current stage, what would you recommend?
Yeah, so we designed a product to solve for that, and it is called Access Manager. And it actually just went GA yesterday while we were at the show. But what it does is it takes the core capabilities in ICE and it simplifies it. So it brings it all into a cloud-delivered service, so there's no infrastructure to deploy. It takes the configuration and embeds it directly into the Meraki dashboard in a simplified way. So in minutes, a team can be up and running. With this simplified version of ICE that we call Access Manager. And so that's how we're enabling everyone to have access to this type of technology.
And thank goodness we're having our interview today and not yesterday, otherwise it wouldn't be available. So how do our customers get their hands on this?
So it is available for demo. It can be turned on in a free trial in the Meraki dashboard, so anyone who has that can get a free trial. And there are, of course, promotional offers for the early adopters post-GA.
Thank you so much, Kevin. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on board. I'm sure many of our customers will be looking at that now, but now we have another guest. On to you, Dave.
Thank you, Em. Thank you, Kevin. That was great. From Identity, we are now here to talk all things AgenticOps. I'm joined by Prab Singh, Senior Director of Thousand Eyes. Welcome to the studio. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Late in the afternoon, how's the Cisco Live been so far? All good?
Oh, it's been fantastic, yeah. I don't mind the rain at all. I'd love the cold. We're wearing jackets anyway, so it's been great. And today I think the weather's getting better, so I'm happy to be here.
Surprised you're not in a Thousand Eyes t-shirt, but I'll let that one slide today.
I've got a tattoo under my shirt.
Please, thank you. I'm glad you do. All right, let's get straight into it. Let's talk about AgenticOps. Why is it such a big deal right now? Why are we talking about it right now? Why is it more important?
We're living in such an exciting time where I think the pace of change that we're seeing in the technology and what that allows us to do is so exciting. And AgenticOps is really around moving sort of this beyond the paradigm of AI ops and thinking about the evolution of IT operations, where we're not just using machine learning and these advanced techniques to observe and recommend problems, but actually take action on those. And whether we believe it or not, we're using agents every day today in our personal lives when we use these large language models across the globe. And I think it's only right that we bring that agentic workflow for operations for our engineers so they can really focus on what matters most, which is working on long-term strategic initiatives that really power the business instead of reactive firefighting that we're traditionally following on.
Of course. And how is this helping Cisco's leadership in the AI and networking space, do you think?
Yeah, it's all about, one, building the foundation of the data that we have. Cisco has the largest breadth of information across networks, across applications, across security policies. And our goal with agentic operations is really to sort of simplify operations so we can give customers more autonomy on focusing on their business. And we're using the power of AgenticOps to really kind of build on that leadership for our customers.
I guess, yeah, they had more autonomy, more visibility, and whatnot as well. But give me a simple example of how this is changing the life of our network operators.
Yeah, like as simple as we just rolled out our AI assistant in our dashboard. And a common workflow a network engineer might need to do is instantiate a wireless network. And you can now use our assistant to essentially ask in natural language, hey, I'd like to set up a wireless network across my on-prem devices and my cloud devices. The assistant understands what you're asking for under the hood, invokes Cisco workflows, which is a new capability that we've introduced to really automate the onboarding and configuration of a wireless network. And then eventually kind of allowing you to make sure that you're doing this in a standardized way, ensuring there's no configuration drift, and allowing you to really automate away the drudgery of the work that happens, because most often the problems that appear down the road are ones that happen much earlier in the cycle, in the workflow of an operational person, which is really on configuration and managing that over time.
So I think what you're saying is, even I could do a wireless deployment by using AI Assistant. Is that what we're going with?
Absolutely.
Of course. What makes our approach so unique? Is it things like the AI Assistant, is it?
No, that's a good question. So we've been working really hard at ensuring that we can solve these problems specifically for our audience, which are network operators, IT operators that need to manage this over time. And we've been working on developing a deep learning model, which really powers our AI assistant and also AI Canvas, and the deep learning model has been trained on Cisco University, CCI level questions, and really proprietary Cisco data that allows us to solve these problems that the general purpose models aren't as well equipped to solve. And so the deep learning model really serves as a foundation for us to ensure we have the right data, the right learning model that the assistant can use for your users to be able to automate things in real time.
Prab, thank you. Sum up for me AgenticOps in one line. Down the barrel, there's your camera there. One line, what is AgenticOps?
It's about helping you focus on what really matters, which is powering your business.
Prab, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate having you here. We are going to head now to a video, which is going to sum up all of day two's highlights, all from Cisco Live, everything that we've seen these last couple of days. So let's roll to that video now.
not hitting.
And that's a wrap. We are at the end of another Cisco Live.
Kind of sad, yeah.
Well,
How do you guys feel?
feel amazing. The energy, meeting the customers and having all these interviews, amazing. Just short of words, honestly.
I can't believe it's all over again. It
I
just,
know.
it just sort of, you blink and you miss it. But we had such a jam-packed agenda, and I can't believe that's all done. When you look at it at the start of the week and you think all these interviews, all these keynote deep dives we're going to have, and it's just over like that.
Yeah.
I absolutely felt like a sponge. I was just absorbing all of this information. I was just like, okay, I really want to go see this person. I really want to listen to this interview, go to this center stage.
Yeah.
And I can't believe it. It's just 2 days of full-on learning.
My steps are on to like probably 30,000 by now. Just like doing the interviews, walking around, going to the sessions, but amazing. Any highlights for both of you? Em?
Dave?
I'm glad I put on the comfy shoe, I was going to say, because yeah, there was a lot of running around. But no, I think some of the interviews today we had some big heavy hitting interviews today. We had Craig Bates, APJC SVP for Splunk. We had obviously Ben Dawson taking on his role as well, and I think the interviews were really powerful in the studio. Yeah.
Especially Habib's interview, which you did. I think that messaging and what a remarkable story he has. I'm glad we were able to get him on board and get the get him on the broadcast. Such a great story. Em, any highlights for you?
Actually, I had a little bit of a different day today. So I just spoke to Kevin Kennedy, who was fantastic. He's flown in all the way from the US. So it's so fantastic that we actually have the opportunity to talk to BU leaders who aren't based here in APJC and can bring all of their insight forward. And more importantly, they can take, things from APJC and bring that back to the US. But I had the chance to actually walk around the world of solutions today and see what was happening in the future workplace. And it's something that you really need to just get hands-on with.
Yeah. And I talked to a few customers when I was kind of walking around, and I got the feedback that this time the keynote deep dives and the sessions were very thorough, and they love the agenda and how we've kind of broken down the center stage, keynote deep dive, because the world of solutions has sort of changed a little bit where we divided into 3 pillars. I'm hearing great feedback from
Yeah,
people.
absolutely. And it will be all available on the on-demand library later this month. And right after this, we're going to roll to another 2-hour video of all today's highlights and everything as well. So it goes straight into the video as well.
And I think another thing that did stand out, and I was kind of pacing myself for it because interviewing Ben, that was one of my last interviews of the day, and just kind of wrapping it all up as part of the broadcast, having him on and talking about his new role and APJC as a region, how different it is compared to other geos, and so many different nuances, every country's different languages, and how that kind of incorporates into the market and how we talk to customers. I think hearing that has been incredible and great insights on that.
Yeah, you can really hear his passion actually for the region, and that's someone that you need to be actually leading the charge as we kind of move towards this AI era. I was about to say, we just went an entire almost segment without saying AI once. I feel like that's
You had to say it.
You had to slip it in, yeah.
It's just like, that's what we have to do.
Yeah.
But, I wanted to chat about and just kind of as we wrap up and say thank you to all of the people who have actually contributed to the Cisco broadcast. As well, we've got all of these engineers that are out on center stage. This is not their day jobs. They're actually looking at practicing, making sure they're standing up in front of big crowds to make sure that you understand the technology that they're working with. Yeah. And that's something that we want to say as well, as thank you to all of you for tuning in year on year on year and hearing us basically yap.
And thank you to the marketing team, the Cisco TV team, to putting this all together. It's amazing how all the product teams and everyone comes together and we get to talk to everyone. I think it's an incredible show. If you have an opportunity, come visit Melbourne or the next Cisco Live in person. Highly recommend. But thank you everyone who's
Best event of the
joined in.
year. Let's say the best event.
So I think this might be our chance to say goodbye. So 1, 2, 3. Bye. Welcome back to Day 2 of Cisco Live Melbourne 2025. Before we begin, I would like to reflect that we are meeting on the custodial lands of the world's oldest living civilization. We are meeting on the lands of the Wurundjeri people of the Eastern Kulin Nation. I would like to pay my respect to elders past and present and extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Island peoples here today. I reflect and respect on their ongoing connection to land, community, and sea. My name is Emerald Williamson. I am coming to you from the floor of Cisco Live Melbourne 2025. This is my fourth year. This is my fourth year doing day 2, and I am so excited to be here with you today again. Thank you so much for those that tuned in day 1. Thank you to those who are tuning into day 2. And I am here with 2 of my very lovely co-hosts, Dave and Shika.
Thank you, Emerald. It's fantastic to be back at day 2, Cisco Live. The energy is just as much as big as day 1 yesterday. And thank you all for sticking around with us yesterday. We have another jam-packed day for you today. My name is Dave Wood. I'm a partner account executive based here in Melbourne and one of your co-hosts. And with my third co-host, Shika, welcome.
Thanks, Dave. Hey everyone, I'm Shika Yadav, one of the collaboration customer success managers here based in Melbourne. And you guys are right. Day 1 was incredible, the energy amazing, and we can't wait to do it all again on day 2 here.
Yeah, honestly, I have to say, I feel like we were in 3 days almost in one, maybe 4 days, because we also had like evening activities. We had to go meet our partners and our customers. But I think we should really talk about, at one point we all disappeared and did different things. Like, what was your highlight of day 1?
Obviously, there was a lot of interviews we did. All 3 of us had a bunch of studio interviews. I think my interview with Rajesh, who's the CIO for LTI Mindtree, which is one of the customers, and hearing from them how they deployed a 10-year-old solution and replaced it all in 90 days with help of Cisco CX. That was a great success story, and hearing it from customers' mouth itself, I think that makes a huge difference to kind of have a view of what we're putting out there and mapping it to real life use cases. What about you, Dave?
Absolutely. I think the studio interviews were great. I think it's great to have people dive a bit deeper with them one-on-one, but I think I really enjoyed that the keynote messaging, the message we saw from the keynote, they really resonated throughout the day. With the keynote deep dives, we had the in-studio interviews, we had the center stage interviews and things like that. It's great. The messaging is really flowing through of this one Cisco journey that we're all on.
Yeah, no, I definitely came in with a couple of questions around, what do we need to do as individuals for AI? What are we doing for organization? What are our responsibilities? And I think the keynote really kind of topped and tailed and kind of put a little bit of a framework around that. So Ben Dawson talking about the fact that, only 13% of our organizations are pace setters right now. And that means that there's so much opportunity for our organizations to kind of start making those steps towards and laying out the framework. So what security is not a bolt-on, strategy is actually moving very quickly from an outcome-driven into production. And then the third piece was that there is solid investment that the organization is making, not just for now, but for actually the 12 to 18 months.
Yeah, absolutely. And for all you viewers, I hope you can get here next year if you aren't able to attend, but thank you for joining us. But being out on the World of Solutions floor, I think I only got to see about half of it yesterday. It's incredible, seeing those live hands-on demos right in front of you, and the feedback has been fantastic. That's what people want to do. They actually get to touch and feel our products.
And how they've segregated the 3 pillars that Cisco is focusing on into the world of solutions: digital resiliency, AI-ready data centers, and future-proof workplaces. So kind of bringing together the one Cisco story, all secured by Cisco AI. I think we can see that envisioned in the world of solutions as well. Whoever's joining in, please join in the fun at #CiscoLiveAPJC. If you're here, post your pictures on social media using the hashtag, and we're streaming in 7 different languages. So if you're joining anywhere across Asia, we have live translations in 7 different languages.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, I feel like there were a couple of themes. In the morning, we had a lot of conversations about Cisco Unified Edge. In the afternoon, it was all about customer success and experience. And then I guess today we're actually going to be looking at future-proof workplaces. So let's head over to the world of solutions.
Hi everyone, I'm here in the heart of the incredible Cisco World of Solutions, right in the middle of the Future-Proof Workplaces stand. As we look ahead to the future of work, Cisco's Future-Proof Workspaces embodies a holistic, uniform platform approach that seamlessly integrates network, smart building technologies, collaboration, AI-powered operations and observability. This foundation connects every user, device and application with embedded security, enabling zero trust access and robust protection no matter where work happens. Together, these technologies create agile, resilient and intelligent work environments designed to meet the evolving needs of today and tomorrow, whether it's on campus, in branches, factories, hospitals, or even at home. As you'll explore through the area, you'll discover how Cisco empowers organisations like yours to build modern workplaces that deliver exceptional employee and customer experiences, improve health and well-being, optimise space utilisation and support sustainability goals. You're also going to see how Cisco uniquely transforms network devices into sensors through Cisco Spaces, providing real-time insights and driving unified IT management across AI-ready secure campuses and unified branches. We're modernising IoT and we're enabling smarter, more connected and sustainable workplaces. Get ready, there's a lot to explore here, so let's dive in and look at some of the exciting innovations being showcased. Hi Sanjay, and welcome to the broadcast.
Hi Karen, great to be here.
Sanjay, I wanted to talk to you about what is essentially at the heart of the future-proof workplaces vision, which is secure networking. So it's the foundation, right? What can people expect to see here at the stand?
Great question. The foundation of future-proof workplace is leveraging Cisco networking technology to build smart, secure, and highly adaptable work environment. The booth where we are located features state-of-art Cisco smart switches for campus and branch offices, which are instrumental in building modernized workplaces. These switches not only provide 10 gig Ethernet-based speed using multi-gig technology, but also support power over Ethernet up to 90 watts. These switches are Cisco Hypershield ready for advanced threat mitigation, provide support for post-quantum cryptography algorithms and encryption to guard our customers against future attacks using quantum computers. These switches are hardware ready to protect customers from zero-day threats on software vulnerabilities using Cisco Live Protect. Now, as we all know, wireless and ruggedized network devices plays a pivotal role in building future-proof workplaces. As a result, Cisco has got customers covered with ruggedized i9300 switches, newly announced i3500 switches, ruggedized and non-ruggedized indoor and outdoor Wi-Fi 7 capable access points.
That is an amazing showcase lineup I can see there. What you've just told us about our network infrastructure, how is Cisco using that in our smart building technology?
Yeah, so building the foundation layer, smart building technology can be transformed now from a physical workspace into dynamic sensor-driven environment. Network devices can now become sensors to monitor occupancy, temperature, air quality in real time. All of this data then can be fed into platforms like Cisco Spaces.
Sanjay, thanks so much for your time and your insights. I could see you're a busy man with customers here behind you. Okay, so building on what we've just heard here from Sanjay about the power of our comprehensive network, what about seamless integration with our powerful collaboration devices and software? Well, over in the collaboration area of the stand, you'll be able to explore Cisco's WebEx suite and purpose-built devices that deliver immersive audio, video, and AI-powered language intelligence, which enables employees to collaborate whether they are in the office, at home, or simply on the go. Underpinning all of the components we've heard so far is Cisco's integrated AI-powered operations. AI is embedded across networking, security, collaboration, and building systems to assist, augment, and automate processes. And finally, let's not forget about observability with our powerful capabilities from Cisco Thousand Eyes, AppDynamics, and Splunk, which provide this end-to-end visibility and assurance across networks and applications. Together, all of these interconnected architecture areas that I've spoken about forms this unified platform that empowers organisations to be agile, smart, secure and sustainable. So make sure to come and engage with our engineers at the stands, explore the sessions and breakouts and discover how Cisco's integrated approach is empowering customers to meet the evolving demands of the future of work.
It's incredible how far these devices have actually come. Like we've gone from, essentially little cameras to all integrated devices built in with AI. What do you think, Dave Schicker?
I completely agree. I think that that PTZ camera is pretty remarkable and how powerful that is, and the extended zoom on that. I know we had to play with that up in the in our Sydney office, and I could remember the zoom was amazing. It was getting people. You could deliberately get people all the way out in the corridor and things like that. It was really, really quite cool.
And the speaker tracking and the new speakers we've launched as well. Yeah, collaboration is moving on as a whole, which is why also I'm excited to interview Espen, who I have an interview later today, who is the general manager for Cisco devices. And we know all our customers love Cisco devices and what they've done for the organization, for that experience of distance zero. You're sitting here, or if you're in the US, it's the same experience for everyone.
Looking forward to that interview as well.
Yeah.
What about you, Em? What have you got on today?
Oh, actually, I've got a really packed out day. I have the pleasure of touring the world of solutions with some of my customers and actually taking them through what is a future-placed workplace tour, actually, because we've had the pleasure of having our office upgraded. But while we're here in Melbourne, we may as well have the opportunity to see what it looks like from end to end. But you guys have a lot of interviews, I think, planned. While I'm out on the floor, I think you have a couple each. Like, who are you most excited for, Dave?
I think for me, I've got coming up next, actually. So don't go anywhere, guys. But coming up next, we have Craig Bates, so APJC SVP for Splunk, and obviously Splunk. The Splunk acquisition, it's been now 18 months, or give or take, and it's really, really integrated across our entire stack. And that digital resiliency messaging, again, a strategic pillar of ours, is going to be on full show when we talk to Craig, I think.
And he's also taken on the APJC leader role recently. So I think it would be good to hear how the region itself is doing and adopting the digital resiliency message. I also will be wrapping up my interviews with Ben Dawson. So that would be my last interview. I think really looking forward to it, following up from the keynote, his new role, see what he has to say about obviously the AI messaging from the keynote, the Unified Edge launch, and see just generally what his how he's feeling, talking to customers being back in Melbourne. So really looking forward to that one as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, for yourself, Em, you're actually out and about with a few customers today, actually hearing their story, aren't you?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think the center stages are actually what we're really looking forward to, because the center stages are actually inside the world of solutions. And the thing that is most exciting about it is that all of the presenters are actually day-to-day SEs. And it's a huge thing for them to come out, stand in front of so many people and talk about their technology. Like we had a couple of our engineers on the keynote yesterday doing live demos, which would scare me so much. So I think, a huge shout out to all of the engineers who put in their life and blood into actually getting this to run both in the world of solutions and on the center stage.
Yeah, and we also have the Women of Cisco session later today. I always look forward to that session every Cisco Live. We have our Chief Sustainability Officer speaking, and it's the session's called Leveraging Disruption to Lead Ahead, and being women in tech and women in Cisco, I think it would be a strong messaging to everyone out there. So really looking forward to what they have to say in that session.
Something that Cisco does very well, like giving that women in technology, is what we really want to try and develop, which is fantastic. Yeah.
And everyone who's joining in from home, make sure you join in all the fun at #CiscoLiveAPJC. We're streaming on CiscoLive.com and also on LinkedIn and Facebook. Just join in all the fun. Let us know what you're doing if you're here around the grounds in Melbourne or joining in from home. Let us know how we're doing. I think we're doing good.
Yeah. Give us a bit of feedback, that's fine.
Yeah.
I think we have to say that as well, actually. But in a moment, we're going to be moving towards the center stage. We'll be looking again at the future-proof workplaces, looking at how AI and technology is coming together to increase our particular value within the office. So we're not looking at snacks and foosball tables in the office anymore. We're talking about how we can actually increase collaboration through mindful technology. So let's head over to Rich Bays and Vanessa Silikowski in the center stage to talk about collaboration.
So I'm super excited to be here today and talk about workplace experience in Cisco devices. And I think, when we think about devices and we think about how the world has changed, that we have a lot of data and tools and information that makes the workplace really overwhelming and disconnected. But Cisco, we really want to be the bridge to that and build on that. So you think about, we've been the bridge to the internet, we've been the bridge to voice, we've been the bridge to video, but now we're the bridge to artificial intelligence. And how do we achieve that? With a foundation built for the future. This isn't a patchwork of solutions, it's a unified AI-powered platform, from the comprehensive WebEx suite to the amazing WebEx contact center and the cutting-edge Cisco devices. Every component has AI infused in it for the future of the workplace. And you think about the workplace, we've gone from a world where it's just like, people talking with people, or human communication, right? We walk into a room and we say, hey, what happened in Sydney yesterday? But now there's this people to AI communication, which is a whole new world of how do we communicate with data in a different way. But then the next aspect is AI to AI. And how AI and AI communicate is really, really interesting for the future. And the way we're thinking about it at Cisco is how do we improve every single one of these? We've been working for decades on human to human, and we're adding more and more enhancements in that space. But AI to AI allows us to compound and really increase that value almost 10x and bring that together. So if you think about this, we're going to integrate AI in 3 different layers. We have AI on the edge. With our Cisco devices, we can bring experiences, and we'll go deep into that in a little bit here, but also AI in the cloud. And AI in the cloud allows us to take all this massive data and really bring the computational power of deep learning and large-scale analytics to global levels. But lastly, AI in control. Because you guys are the superstars, the IT teams that really manage these devices and scale them. We want to empower you with actionable insights that allow you to make the best decisions moving forward. And I think that's really critical for success as we move into this world where density is important and scale is important. But if we go a little bit deeper into this, we really want to make sure that we can elevate the employee experience, because technology should seem seamless. It should fade in the background. We should be fostering genuine connection. When you think about earning the commute, people don't want to go in the office just to have the same conversations they can have from behind their PC at home. How do we really up-level that and bring those experiences with devices to elevate that is super important and critical. This is where the intelligent device software and hardware comes together. If we can really multiply that human impact, we can make every interaction feel effortless and immediate, no matter where you are. It's about turning technology into true connection. But to go deeper into that, I want to invite a great friend, Vanessa, onto the stage to go deeper into Cisco devices and how we bring that together. Hey, Vanessa.
Hey, Rich.
Great to see you.
Hey.
There you go.
Thank you, Rich. So to deliver that true connection at the edge, we've significantly updated our purpose-built device operating system with a new intelligent engine, RoomOS 26. And it's engineered with 2 key principles: built for connection and simplified for scale. Now, built for connection brings new agentic AI capabilities with AI-directed dynamic camera modes for auto cinematic framing, AI-powered audio to remove not just background noise, but voice distractions as well, and an AI note taker in physical rooms to provide summaries and action items with no virtual meeting required. Now, built for simplified for scaled brings us new admin and control. With zero-touch provisioning in Control Hub, we can pre-stage devices before we even send them out on site, and then anyone can plug them in and they'll auto-configure. And Workspace Advisor creates a room digital twin in Control Hub so you can optimize rooms remotely. Now, we're going to have a look at those in a little more detail. But first, we've also updated the aesthetics and the user experience. And so this is the new RoomOS 26. So RoomOS 26 is our biggest update yet. and it's designed to fit into any workplace. With 12 different colorways, it will complement any of your workspaces. And starting with our default here, Evening Fjord. Now, this isn't just a digitally created background. It's actually nature enhanced with AI. The design team took photos of the leaves of the beautiful Kala lily and created this stunning backdrop. And with 12 different color palettes to choose from, you'll find the right one for each of your different workspaces. For you dark mode lovers, we've got Cobalt. And we also have First Light, the lighter background for those that are used to the default RoomOS 11 experience. Now, this light option also provides an easy transition, especially when you have a mixed environment of RoomOS 11 and new RoomOS 26. But lots of other colors for you to choose from. Now, we've also increased the contrast on the text elements, and that gives better legibility on any background. And now, slightly transparent app buttons make the icons more emphasized and they blend in better with any background or wallpaper. The control panels have a new floating overlay when open, so it makes it easier to focus on the controls when you need them. And we've added more rounded edges. And with this increased contrast and transparency, it makes it more appealing and easier to read the text when it's on the screen. Now, these several touches and some other slight updates give us an enhanced but familiar RoomOS experience. Now, RoomOS 26 also uses the devices to create a digital workforce in your workplace with 3 new AI personas: a note taker, a meeting director, and a workspace advisor. For those of you that leverage the power of the WebEx platform and all its multiple included AI assistants, the AI note taker can become a digital team member in your physical rooms. So say you're having an in-person only meeting and you've got this great conversation going, and 30 minutes in, you wish someone was taking notes. The AI note taker can not just capture the entire conversation, but understands the context. So you won't just get a transcript, you'll get a concise summary and action items. No virtual bridge required, no virtual meeting, nobody taking physical notes, just a RoomOS 26 device and turn on note taker. Now, we also, in RoomOS 26, support the facilitator agent in Microsoft Teams rooms. And this will take real-time notes and action items in hybrid meetings, scheduled meetings, and even in the ad hoc meetings. Now, the new RoomOS 26 also has a sharing user experience update. Here, you can have instant access to all your wired and wireless sharing options from a new unified dialogue view. This means that you can instantly share between wired and wireless, and with the most comprehensive sharing options available, including AirPlay and Miracast, it means anybody can instantly share at any time. Now, we've had some great cinematic meetings views for you to choose from. We've had frames and group and speaker and cross-view speaker track. But if the wrong selection was made, the remote attendees missed out on the best view and might have missed important context. To solve this, we've created an exciting industry first and my personal favourite of the cool new RoomOS 26 capabilities, dynamic camera mode. Now, this is powered by the RoomOS 26 AI Director. And the AI Director predicts and adapts in real time. It detects who's speaking and understands where reactions are happening, and it reframes automatically. So so you get the best view at any time. And as you can see in this image here, it'll switch between group and speaker and frames, cross-view speaker track, and a combination of all of these if that's going to provide the best view. And the great thing is, and Rich told me, RoomOS 26 GA'd this morning. So when you get back to your office, dynamic camera mode is going to be the default view. Now, in addition to making the meetings easier to visually follow, we're also doing this from an audio perspective. We know the most important thing in meetings is clear audio. Now, one of the most distracting things, especially in those large meetings, it's not just background noise, but side conversations. So you're connected to a large room, and there's either a background conversation happening somewhere in that room, or someone's talking loud just outside the door or window to that room. And it makes it really hard to hear who's speaking. Now, this has been a real challenge, but not anymore. By combining the advanced capabilities of AI zones and our Ceiling Microphone Pro, we can create audio exclusion zones. So the microphone only picks up the areas of the room that you want it to, and it blocks out everything else. Let's take a look at this in action.
Hi folks! Have you noticed how background noise and distraction can disrupt meetings? What do you think? Can we fix it?
Yeah, like these guys, right? Let's fix it.
Way better. It's time to remove friction. With Audio Exclusion Zone now available on Cisco Ceiling Mic Pro, you can set intelligent acoustic boundaries and make sure the active speaker's voice always takes center stage.
Let's have a look at how it actually works.
Enabling the feature is really simple. On the Cisco Room Navigator, just tap the settings icon, go to microphone settings, and enable Audio Exclusion Zone. You can even customize the zone so it only picks up voices from the area you choose. Experience meetings the way they were meant to be. Focused, professional, and distraction-free with Cisco's Audio Exclusion Zone.
So that gives you a little bit of an insight into the RoomOS capabilities built for connection. What I'd like to do is bring up Rich to talk to us a little bit more about that other key principle, simplified to scale.
Perfect. Thank you, Vanessa. And actually, Vanessa, can you stay here? I think we do some more demos, some live demos, some first-time experiences, but you stick there, we'll go more. But actually, look at Audio Exclusion Zone, for example. I think one of those other aspects that we didn't really think about is audio is the most important factor in every meeting. You can have great video, but if you have bad audio, everything breaks down. So how do we make sure we optimize that experience? The Ceiling Mic Pro was a big step forward there, and I think now Audio Exclusion Zones, we're just adding way more value to make sure that we can get the clear, crisp audio in every meeting. But let's talk about device onboarding, right? You guys have all experienced here where device onboarding obviously creates scale and stalls onboarding experiences. It's manual, it's error-prone. You might be doing deployments at different locations. You're pre-staging equipment in certain aspects. Sometimes config templates changes over time because you might have edits between when you do the initial template to when you actually deploy it later on in the field. It should take minutes, right? It takes days sometimes, this experience. And when you think about these intelligent workplace devices, it's really, really important that we can scale this fast and make sure we bring every space to have intelligence. So zero-touch provisioning is a new feature coming to RoomOS 26. It's a complete game changer because now you can pre-stage everything in Control Hub. You can make sure before the product even lands on site, it's already configured in a workspace. It has the template, it has the configuration, and anyone can plug it in. You can have less tech hands on site, less technical people available all the time. This allows you to scale this in much more different ways. And this time, you can bring devices online in minutes. And it's consistent every single time. And I think consistent is key, right? We want to make sure that the experience we have is consistent. That impact means faster rollouts, 0 errors, no truck rolls, and one standard everywhere in that experience. So super excited about zero-touch provisioning coming early next year to RoomOS 26 devices. If we go further as well, last year, we announced the bar for audio with the Sling Microphone Pro. We just saw the audio exclusion zone just now to elevate that even more with new software features. Now we've brought this year, the Cisco Room Vision PTZ camera, which takes that bar even higher. AV over IP, one click to distance zero. And how do we make that real? Is that you get media over Ethernet, you get power over Ethernet, but you also get manageability in Control Hub. And this makes things really, really simple. Now, instead of just talking about it, Vanessa, what if we actually do a live demo? You currently have in front of you a Room Vision PTZ camera that's just out of the box, right? We've just unboxed it. It's right here.
Out of the box. So here I have the new Room Vision PTZ camera. I also have a Cisco switch. And what we're going to do, as Rich said, it's PoE and AV over IP. So I'm going to plug it in just with the single Ethernet cable. Now, once I plug it in, it powers up and starts its boot sequence. It's going to pan, tilt, zoom. It's going to spin around. It's like it's doing a little kangaroo break dance. And what it's doing is it's self-testing and it's negotiating with the codec. So it's actually calibrating to understand where it is, the environment, and what it's connected to. And what it's doing, it's getting ready for those AI-powered experiences. And it uses that single Ethernet cable to carry power, video, the AI-directed camera control, and any firmware updates. And so there's no need for any of those horrible HDMI extenders. So it really simplifies that room design configuration.
So we've gone from having 3 cables now to 1 cable, right?
And
one experience. But also I think one of the features about this device is we put the head-to-tech AI model on the camera itself. So now we're running AI really at the edge all the way through. When it comes online, and I can't even finish my talk track before this is online, so we just have the camera connected, and now there we go, live there, right there. Woo! Hey everyone! Perfect. As you can see, like less than a minute from plugging it in out of the box, it's fully online and connected. That experience is just amazing. But if you actually go into Control Hub, Vanessa, what more do we see?
So it takes about less than 90 seconds to calibrate, and then you'll see the camera is already available here in Control Hub. And as easy as that, just one click, and it's all connected and operational.
So now we have this visibility aspect where you can see it instantaneously in Control Hub, and you can make sure that's always online. Right? Cameras in the past, HDMI, it's analog, right? Do you know if it's online or offline? Now we have that ability to drive that experience. Super simple, right? Super easy to do and can scale. So when you think about that, it's three things over one cable. It's media, power, and visibility and control, right? So that really gives you that software and hardware combined experience to really bring that ultimate visibility. You can see every room in real time in Control Hub, detect, prioritize, and fix issues before they spread. You can plan with data and not with guesses. You can standardize the network-aware rooms on one platform, one view, and have confidence at scale. But it's not just about devices in the network that works in sync. We can extend this also to displays when it comes to how do you bring that experience into the room. Now, we've been partnering with a lot of display vendors over the years. And our video bars and room kits seamlessly integrate protecting your investments in visual technology. Through a Cisco partner certification program, we work with major display vendors to ensure plug-and-play performance. So why should you choose a Cisco verified display? Every verified display goes underneath rigorous testing at both Cisco and the partner, making sure we're testing for performance, quality, security. But the most important thing, it has to work out of the box. You have to be able to plug it in and get a consistent experience. So when you connect a Cisco device to a Cisco verified and certified screen, each device will configure itself for optimal latency, color, brightness, saving the AV and IT teams valuable time. Now, if you use Control Hub, you've probably seen a brand new feature last year where now you can see displays in Control Hub. That's an amazing experience because now you can see when an issue goes wrong in the room, the codec might be online, but maybe the display's turned offline. Maybe the cleaning person has gone through there and they found a remote and turned the TV off in that aspect. You can now see that status in Control Hub. But what if we go beyond displays? How can we go even further with Control Hub to the next level? With network-aware rooms coming to Cisco RoomOS 26 devices, you can now connect the new Catalyst 9200X Smart Switch to provide end-to-end visibility for all your peripherals in the room. This means you can get visibility beyond just what you plug into the device directly, but also what you plug into the network around the device as well. You can see what port on the switch those devices are on. You can eliminate all this manual finding and troubleshooting to see, okay, is the switch down? Is the switch working? You can now scale experiences into more aspects as well. You can bring multi-camera experiences to all rooms in this environment. So you eliminate all these manual updates. You bring this unified visibility and central management across your entire enterprise with one click. That's the power of Control Hub. Everything running on one intelligent foundation gives you full visibility anytime, anywhere. But let's go a little bit deeper in Control Hub because there's some amazing features. I know, Vanessa, you have a lot of favorite features for the end user experience, but I do love the admin experience. I think we're doing a lot of aspects there. And just some of the new features we released in the last year are great. For example, remote access. You can now control every device remotely, the displays, the touch panels, anywhere in the world. This is a great experience, definitely for your Microsoft customers out there, where sometimes you need to edit certain settings on the touch panel. You don't need people in the room anymore. Your IT team can do a global scale from the comfort of the office in every device in every space. But smart diagnostics. If you haven't tried it out yet, go and Control Hub today. We just recently GA'd this last month. Now you can go in there and you can see issues and detect patterns over time. And instead of having to go and troubleshoot the issue, Smart Diagnostics will go and analyze support help desk, TAC cases, other instances, and give you recommendations on how to fix the issue directly with one click. So now you can really optimize that experience. But lastly, I think Vanessa is my favorite feature, is workplace ranking. Because workplace ranking is what really, really matters every day. We've all experienced here, right? You walk in the office in the morning, and you're like, okay, I got a report last night that we had an issue in London, or maybe in Sydney. And you think, okay, what do we prioritize? What rooms do we fix first? We go in workplace ranking and we'll sort all the rooms by the amount of criticality issues. But what makes it super interesting is the feature saying, when's the next meeting gonna happen? You have two rooms, one of them meeting in 1 hour's time and one of them meeting in 8 hours time. What do you choose? You choose the one that's gonna have a meeting in 1 hour, so you can proactively fix that. And that's the ability now with workplace ranking, is that you actually get a prioritized stack ranking list of what rooms to fix first. And that's a massive improvement. You get more confidence, your team's more proactive, so when Bob calls the service help desk, it's not, let's look into it. We know the issue, we're fixing it, it'll be fixed by then. And that's an amazing experience. But if you go a little bit deeper now into the next where we're going next, is where you go to the final frontier of IT. And we really partnered with NVIDIA back in 2015, almost 10 years ago today, or more than 10 years ago. And our partnership has really accelerated AI innovation. We've offered unmatched performance when it comes to enterprise-grade security, real-time intelligence, and unlocked a lot of amazing experiences like Vanessa showed earlier when it comes to audio exclusion zones or director experiences. And it really what matters most is how we can elevate these experiences in that room. So what's really that next aspect is the physical space. You can't see you can't optimize what you cannot see. We can see digital, right? We can see network ports, network switches, cameras. But what about the four walls in the space? How do we make sure the mic coverage covers the table correctly? How do we make sure that the acoustics in the room meet the need of your environment? How do we test those changes before we spread them? How do we make sure that this template will work in the next new build you're doing? So today, we're announcing Workspace Advisor. It's AI at the edge that builds a digital twin for each room right in Control Hub. But instead of talking about it, let's actually do a live demo here and a world's first on a Microsoft Teams root device. But first of all, before we go into that live call, I want to just do a quick chat about what we're doing with this device. Digital twin is going to allow us to really kind of bring this next level experience where we can capture Room OS 26 and capture an image of the room and create that digital twin in Control Hub so we can really spot those issues. So first of all, we have a meeting on here, Microsoft Teams meeting. Let's join this meeting here. And it's going into our Cisco Melbourne office. So if you guys here who know Cisco Melbourne office, you'll probably know this experience and you'll see people there. Hey everyone, live on stage here at Cisco Live.
Hey Rich.
Perfect. It's a great room, but right behind there is that main area and everybody keeps walking past.
Exactly. So just before we joined this call, Room OS 26 took an image of the room, did an analysis of that advisor and put it into Control Hub to create that experience. And I think, Vanessa, if we go into Control Hub, what do we really see when it comes to that experience?
So the great thing about this is what Workspace Advisor does is it brings together the live data, some real world context and AI insights, and it can make proactive recommendations. And I bet you can guess what that room's called. It is the Melbourne Cricket Ground.
The best ground in the world.
So if we go into Melbourne Cricket Ground, what you've seen is that the Workspace Advisor has already made some recommendations. It's recommended that we put a Ceiling Microphone Pro in that room for better audio experience, but it's also recommended that we enable a meeting zone so that we don't get those people staring in from the side there. So if I enable meeting zone, what it's going to do is suggest a meeting zone. And so when I confirm that meeting zone, as easy as that, after a few seconds, you'll see it'll apply to the room. How cool is that?
Look at that. Isn't that super easy? Like, Vanessa completely remotely has scanned the room, configured a meeting zone, and instantly applied a brand new feature in that, improving that experience. Guys, thank you so much in the Melbourne office there. Thank you for taking part.
Thank you.
Cheers, everyone.
Thank you.
It's so easy, right? It's just, this is the power of the platform and how we kind of really enhance the next level. And no one's ever done that before, right? We're talking about the physical space, but we're not doing it alone. We're open by design. Partnerships give you that choice and flexibility at a high bar. One example is Microsoft. We've been partnering with Microsoft for many years now and bringing Microsoft Teams rooms to our devices. That also runs on Roam OS and brings the power of Control Hub and the WebEx platform enhanced with Microsoft ecosystem. But we're also now introducing MDEP support from 2026 for our devices. This really unlocks a whole new level of experience. We're bringing the value of Control Hub, ThousandEyes, Cisco security and device management, but also Microsoft security experiences as well into a fully end-to-end solution from Cisco and Microsoft. This is a unique differentiator for us in the market. So if we take a step back and we think about all of this, Vanessa, it comes down to three main things, right? How do we make sure we have AI at the edge that can power amazing experiences, not just for the end user, but also for service owners and IT? It's AI in the cloud and how we bridge that experience and really drive that together at the cloud and bring all the value insights at a global level. But it's how do we give you AI in control? And how do we give you that ability that you can be confident in your team and scale? Because at the end of the day, the needs of the meeting room are changing, the expectations are higher, and your team can now be equipped to make sure you bring the best experience to your workspace and your organization. So Edge sees, Cloud understands, and Control acts, connected intelligently and with purpose. And with that, I want to thank you so much for coming. Vanessa, thank you so much for being on stage.
Thank you, Rich.
And enjoy the rest of Cisco Live, and if you're going, enjoy the party tonight as well.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Vanessa and Rich. It's always amazing to see how far the collaboration technology has come. It was amazing to hear about the Roam OS 26. I was actually, being from collaboration, I was talking to a few customers about the Roam OS. They can't wait for next year when it actually is available and GA. And another thing that did stand out for me was the note taker, because we don't now need to start a meeting to be in a meeting room if you just want the notes taken on devices. So much more coming in the collaboration space, and it's always great to hear all the demos. And they did a live demo, camera just out of the box, and they were able to deploy it in one click. How cool is that? It's just a zero-touch deployment for all our devices, and how Cisco is kind of simplifying their deployment and all the collaboration suite. Next we have another interview in the studio with someone really special. I'm going to throw to Dave for his next interview. Over to you, Dave.
Thank you, Shika. Yes, it is my privilege to be sitting next to a bit of royalty, I must say. Craig Bates, our GM and SVP of APJC Splunk. Welcome to the studio. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I wish I could get that kind of introduction for every meeting that I do.
Oh, please, I'll follow you around anywhere. Listening to your story, which you're all going to hear about, today. But how have you found Cisco Live so far?
Oh, it's been absolutely fantastic. So this is my second Cisco Live. And for me, what's been really wonderful is just seeing the progress that we've made into integration between Splunk and Cisco. It's wonderful to see how front and center the Splunk team is with Cisco and how far along our messaging has come in that last year as well too.
Yeah, I think the messaging is important as well. I know from being a Cisco employee as well, it's great to see the integrating of the culture of the teams as well. It's fantastic to see in the office culture, so that's great.
Yeah.
Now you said second year. Did you happen to catch the keynote yesterday?
Yeah, absolutely. Couple of highlights for me. First of all, I actually used to work with Ben Dawson like 20 years ago, and
wow.
So we've known each other for a long time, been separated since. So to see Ben kind of lead his first Cisco Live, I thought was fantastic. And then the second piece for me was the demo gods didn't smile on us particularly well, but that's the plus and the minus of running real live demos. But then when we were able to actually get the run through of the demo of AI Canvas and just showing how we've got that generative AI in kind of core operations running, I thought was a great demonstration of the portfolio coming together.
I completely agree. I think we touched on it a little bit earlier, I think, when we spoke backstage, but like, hand on my heart believe, that was the best demo. It took a bumpy start to get there, but that was the best demo, to see human and AI actually working together to map out a problem right live on stage, and the ability to do an on-stage live demo at a big auditorium like this takes a lot of courage to do that. So I think it was
Team
fantastic.
did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you been able to get out on the floor as well and speak to some customers and things, or?
Yeah, lots of time meeting with customers, lots of time meeting with press and the like as well too. And it's been great. I love seeing our demos running kind of live out on the demo floor as well too, and just the interaction that we've got with customers as well. But the messaging that we've got around the Cisco Data Fabric, helping organizations set themselves up to be successful with AI and providing them all the capabilities that they need to be digitally resilient in doing so, is really resonating well, because they're all facing these challenges.
And just on that, so what are some of the challenges that some of these customers are facing in this agentic AI era?
So, I think as organizations look to adopt these new AI capabilities, it just kind of turbocharges all the digital resilience challenges from a security and observability perspective that organizations have had for a long time. And specifically, the volume of data that organizations need to have visibility of and reason across, combined with the complexity of their environments, is just absolutely exploding. And so I think the core challenge that we really see is, how do you have an approach which can make sense of those enormous volumes of data and actually drive value for them in these AI use cases?
Yeah. And how do you think Splunk's actually doing this with companies? How do you think they're actually helping customers to implement and, more importantly, optimize the AI-driven applications?
Yeah, so I think when we talked yesterday about the Cisco Data Fabric, and we announced that at Conf, I think about 8 weeks ago now, it's a real demonstration of where we're going to help organizations break the biggest challenge that they have here. Because the traditional approaches for digital resilience are to reason across these volumes of data. And when that data is growing 10, 15, 20 times a year, it's just not practical. And machine data is growing at a greater rate than anything else. And so the Cisco Data Fabric is a fundamentally different way of bringing Splunk and the analytics of Splunk to the data. So you break the need for a customer to need to shift these huge volumes of data around their organization to be able to reason across it, because you have to have that visibility to be able to be secure and resilient. And if you want to be able to leverage these AI tools, you've got to make sure that they're up and running and you're not introducing increased security risk to your organization as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that you're touching on this digital resiliency messaging right all the way through, and that's something that we've been saying across Cisco Live at the moment. Obviously, it's Cisco key strategic pillar, and it is resonating. I think it's constantly there, and customers need to be more. We're helping them be more digital resilient, right?
Well, it is the business imperative, right? It's a bit of a cliche, but every business today is a digital business, and every government organisation is a digital service provider. And so it's no longer that these systems are in the back end of an organisation doing a particular business process. They are actually the business. And so if they're not running, if they're not performant, if you don't have high confidence in availability, and that you have the right kind of security controls in place, it's a real direct impact on the bottom line.
And like as we touch on some of these security challenges and they become more and more complex out there, AI-driven security is evolving. And how do you think Splunk, how are we staying ahead of these threats?
I think that there's two lenses in which to look at it. It's AI both increases, well, it lowers the barrier to entry for bad actors. So they are absolutely using these AI tools to be able to create new attacks, to be able to find vulnerabilities more quickly. And so the attack surface is increasing. And on the other side, we can absolutely fight AI with AI, and being able to leverage our AI tooling and capability to be able to be far more effective in the way that we're able to respond to these security threats is core to the way that we're looking at that. So you would have seen a lot of the announcements that we've made around making security operations incredibly more efficient and automating a lot of kind of the early level 1 kind of SOC analyst type work, really helping security analysts become far more proactive in terms of threat hunting and dealing with the real threats in their environment, rather than searching through false positives and dealing with reports and the like as well.
Yeah, like I had an interesting conversation yesterday with AJ Shipley, right? Yeah. And we're talking about the security being fused into the network, and that whole SOC of the future piece with the extended detection response. So, yeah, that messaging is the true piece, right? That SOC of the future, where we want to get to, is what we're doing, and that the AI, saying AI talking to AI, and human talking with AI. It's just great to see that it's working together, and we're not working. I think someone said yesterday, we're not working in silos. We're not trying to keep in silos. Work together, embrace it, and look at what we can achieve.
Yeah, I was on stage with AJ at the Security Innovation Forum on Monday, and that was fantastic. It was a completely packed house, and I've been in tech for a long time, and I think there's particular times where you can feel there's a real buzz around an industry, and you can feel it. And you can feel it here at Cisco Live, and specifically around cyber as well too. And so we have all the assets between our network security capabilities combined with our security management platforms within Splunk to really help our customers be able to adopt these AI capabilities at scale and in a really safe way as well too.
Yeah, I think the simple question that's being asked is from our customers that we see down here in ANZ is like, just how are you securing that? Like things, networks, as I said, data, everything's so complex now. How are you securing that is the key question.
And I think the core element of that is fundamentally security is a data challenge. And so you need to have the right visibility across your environment, across the network, across infrastructure, assets that are owned and unowned. But you've got to have that visibility. And quite often I speak with customers and we'll ask them, what percentage of your environment do you have visibility of? And there's not many, if any, that can confidently say that they have 100% visibility. And so they have significant amount of risk in areas that they can't respond to.
There's a gap, right?
Exactly, and we've got all of the skills and capability to be able to bring to that to help them close that.
That's great. And just talking on like sort of visibility, how do you think Splunk's role, like the observability piece in and AI is shaping the future of security in that way?
Yeah, so I think observability and security are really, really closely linked, right? And I think that we see the most progressive organizations from an observability perspective really be able to, from an AI perspective, really be able to use observability as a competitive advantage. Because once they can understand the end-to-end makeup of their architecture and the systems and the performance and the like, they can be really proactive with their ability to deliver these capabilities in a really performant way. And when they see challenges, and a week doesn't go by at the moment where we don't see new outages or breaches and the like. And so the ones that have visibility of that end-to-end are the ones that can confidently adopt these new capabilities.
Yeah, I think that's it, right? That end-to-end complete visibility, observability, which is what Cisco now has. Together Cisco's, that's what we have together now.
And integrations that we're driving with Thousand Eyes into the Splunk observability platform and across the whole portfolio. It's great to see the progress that we've made around how we're bringing everything together in just the last year.
And have you seen that sort of evolve from your lens, right? Like you must be so proud to see coming from Splunk to see it now come into Cisco and see the evolution of how we're putting that across our entire portfolio product stack, right, at Cisco.
Absolutely. And I think what's great now is how clear the better together messaging really is and how much it's really resonating with the things that are most important for our customers as well. And so together we have a collection of assets that are really unmatched in the industry in terms of being able to deliver on that promise of digital resilience. And then, personally, I love seeing our teams come together. I was in Tokyo last week where we did the last office come together, and we finished a renovation there and brought the team together. And so the collaboration and the way that we're working together with customers is fantastic. It's really good.
Awesome. Let's talk a bit on some some business value pieces. So Splunk advocates for using federated searches to help with data management and analytics, right?
Yeah.
What exactly does that mean for our IT engineers and engineering teams out there?
Yeah. So the challenge, and I spoke about this at the start, the challenge of the days of being able to bring all the machine data in your organization in one place, to be able to reason across it and understand what's happening so that you can be really clear about observability and security challenges you have. The scale that we are talking about now, we like to call it ludicrous data and ludicrous data volumes. And that's intentional because the sheer volumes that we're talking about are not able to be managed in the way that they've been able to be managed previously. So the approach is to help our customers take the analytics, which is the real power of Splunk, directly to the data where it is. And so what that means is today our customers are able to search on data that sits in Amazon S3 buckets where it might be, where it is dramatically less expensive, but perhaps not as performant, or search on that data directly within Snowflake data stores and the like as well. And increasingly we're announcing Azure and then other data platforms as well. And so the idea is that we can take the analytics to where the data is. And I see a future where we're able to do that more directly with Cisco infrastructure and hardware as well. So we can get all of that power of Splunk without having to shunt 10, 15, 20 terabytes a day worth of data around some of the largest organizations that we deal with.
Cisco does have that critical infrastructure that we need for this AI era, right?
Yeah.
So that's it. Exactly right. What about some local use cases and some examples of Splunk's products that have helped some customers solve real problems?
Yeah. So I think a really great example is the work that we do with Singapore Airlines and the national carrier. They were able to bring all of their kind of data metrics into their Splunk operational data store. And the way that they were able to drive consistent use cases across both security and observability, they were able to reduce kind of their time to detection down by 75% and drive a whole lot of efficiency in the team as well. We had a customer on stage in the executive forum yesterday who is one of the biggest telcos that we have in Australia, really important critical infrastructure. And they've been able to reduce their mean time to detection, mean time to resolution metrics by more than 50% by centralizing their analytics across the Splunk platform. And they've been able to do that while reducing the number of systems and number of vendors and complexity that they've got in an environment. So they've got a really strong cost-saving outcome while improving the kind of the core metrics of the business as well.
And let's talk about this, Reid. So you ABJC lead now. What do you see are the biggest opportunities for us here in this region?
I think the opportunity in front of us is incredible. And I think that at its heart is to be successful with the AI opportunity, you have to be digitally resilient. So every single customer across the entire region has a requirement for the capabilities which we can deliver in a way that no other organization can. It looks different in the different geographies that we operate in. So we see changes in regulation and maturity, be it through India or Singapore or Hong Kong or Japan or here in Australia. But there's an overall trend towards greater data regulation as well too. And so our ability to be able to provide kind of the data platform for these security and observability use cases, which are essential and fundamental to being able to realize value from AI, is an incredible opportunity for us.
Absolutely, Craig. We could talk forever on this, and I thank you so much for your time. We are going to go over to a Keynote deep dive now to hear more.
Fantastic.
Over to the Keynote now.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, and welcome to Melbourne. I hope you are having a good week and excited about all the news. So I'm very happy to be here with you today, and let's go straight into it. So you heard a lot of things during the keynote on how we are innovating on all the different fronts, from AI-ready data center, digital workspace, and digital resilience. What we are going to focus on today is about future-proof workplace. So that's what we're going to focus on. What we mean by future-proof, I'm sure you heard it so far already this week, is pretty much where the work is happening, being in the office, in the branch, in your car, sometime when you are on the parking lot getting to your office, or even in the factory, in your industrial environment, when you need things to happen. That's what we're going to focus, and let's go straight into it. So when we look into, look back, some of you, I can see in the audience, have been here for some time. You have a lot of experience, a lot of wisdom, right? And we went through many technology disruption. So internet that changed completely the world. You've heard Ben Dawson at the keynote, that was very interesting. He said, how the industry has evolved, how we enable the world. If you look into mobility, cloud, how things have evolved as well with that. And now, for the last few years now, it's been around AI. And AI is creating an amazing environment for the next disruption, and we need to be ready for that. When we look into AI, there's a lot of changes that are happening. We see a multiplication of number of agents that are going to be in your infrastructure, about security, how that's going to impact security. But let me take an example. Just earlier this week, I was talking to one of our customers, and they were mentioning about an AI use case I've never heard about before, which is in the branch. In the branch, they have a retail space, and now they want to do live translation. So can you imagine we are in Asia, where you have so many countries with so many different languages. You go to Japan, for example. You go to Japan and you can go and talk into your native language, and you can have live translation in the store to be able to purchase anything. That's the kind of use case that we see happening. And you can imagine that puts a lot of constraint on the networking infrastructure. Being from the traffic pattern are going to change, the intensity of the traffic is going to change, the bandwidth that you're going to need is going to change. So a lot of things will evolve, and we are just at the beginning, and you need to get ready for that. Bottom line, what I'm trying to tell you is you need to really rethink how your network infrastructure is going to allow you to enable those different use cases into your business, and how you're going to be able to leverage the technology to differentiate. And that's why you will need to think about how you build your network to enable all of that. The good news is you're in the right place. Cisco have been investing on that, and we have been building a lot of things to help you to do that. And there's a few things that we are focusing on. The first thing is around AgenticOps, and we're going to drill down around that, on how we can do that, how we can drive operational simplicity into our day-to-day operation. And I'm going to have my colleague joining me to go and deep dive into that. We're going to talk about scalable device. We have been launching a lot of new devices, even this week. So we are going to have Matt go and cover that. And finally, security and the network together. And Nila is going to go and deep dive into that. Just as a reminder, there are a few things that we have launched today, this week at Cisco Live. The first thing is around the global overview and the cloud management. We now, as you have seen in the main keynote, from the dashboard, you can see all your devices, from a Meraki managed, dashboard managed device, as well as your Catalyst Center device. We have now the fabric that can be cloud managed, which is pretty interesting. We have the new unified branch technology that we have launched that really allow you to scale your deployment of your branch, where you can do network as a code. You can use a CI/CD pipeline to configure and deploy your branch. And finally, you have a lot of new devices into Wi-Fi 7, new access points that we have launched, new routing platform that we have launched, and Matt is going to go through the detail to that. Let's stop the talking a little bit, and what I thought we will do that might be more interesting is we are very, very lucky to have an amazing person with us today. And I'm very happy to welcome on stage Michel Fernando. Michel is Superintendent of OT Networks at BHP, and we are going to have a quick chat with you. So please welcome on stage Michel. Michel.
Thank you.
Oh, welcome. So quick question, Michelle. Obviously we're in Australia. When we talk about mining in Australia, everyone knows what mining is and everyone knows who BHP is, but we have a very international audience. So for the people who are watching live, tell us a little bit more about BHP. Who is BHP and what do you do at BHP?
Yeah, so BHP is a mining organization which is spanning global operations across Australia and Americas. We operate in the most of the harshest and most remote areas and evolving in a very dynamic, evolving environment. Running networks in that is the biggest challenge. And my role is doing OT networks. Quite surprisingly, yesterday I got asked what is an OT network in mining. So what OT networks in mining does is it connects machines, sensors, and control systems to make sure mining runs. And it comes from whole trucks to drills to sensors and monitoring services.
Okay, that's fantastic. So now when you look, you are at Cisco Live. Cisco is about networking. We've been doing that for a few years now. What are the trends do you see in networking and how does it impact the mining industry overall? What have you seen, through your experience?
So it was really interesting to know about the AI-ready infrastructure. And I think in mining, we have been doing that for a while because we have been chasing every single packet for a while. And it is about low latency, high throughput applications. And I think we have got an OT environment which is ready to take on the challenges of AI.
So, I don't know how many in the audience or in the live audience actually know, when you think about OT, what are those specific challenges that you see in this OT environment? What is it exactly? What are those challenges that are specific to those settings?
So the most biggest challenge is we operate wireless networks. So in all wireless networks, it is a known fact that the RF environment is the most critical for performance. So in mining, the terrain is constantly evolving, sometimes by the hour. And also it operates in very dynamic environments from bushfires to sometimes floods and extreme weather. So adapting an outdoor industrial wireless network to quickly react to that kind of nature is one of the key challenges we have got.
It's funny you say mountains. You are literally moving mountains every day at work, so that's pretty interesting. So now let's go to a different view of the networking. So there are the OT networks, the IT networks. You have global presence all around the world, right? You have to connect all those different remote locations. So when you look at your experience, what approach to designing this connectivity to connect all those different branches, what have you done to do that and how do you approach that design, right?
So I think even in mining, the enterprise technologies like SD-WAN is quite prevalent, but now what is interesting is we need to bring it back to the mine. So from the corporate offices into those remote locations. Traditionally, the OT network and IT network did not want to mix together, maintain separate infrastructures, separate nodes and everything. But I think for future with the enabling AI and all of that, we need to look for opportunities to converge IT and OT networks in a very secure solution.
That maybe you are giving me the lead to the next question. You knew it was coming. So you connect everything. Tell us about security. How do you secure all this infrastruccer, right? Do you have any, once again, your experience, 20 years in the industry, and we've known each other for many years. Any guiding principle you can share maybe with the audience around security for those environments?
So I think for mining industries in particular, security should not be an afterthought. Whenever we are designing from the start, it should be incorporated into the fabric. So SD-WAN and taking it to the mine is now the next phase we need to do so that we can maintain the OT-IT separation but still allow both physical infrastructure to be shared because we can't run two networks in a remote location in a harsh environment. So we need to learn to live together and converge through secure practices.
Yeah, and it's really about leveraging the skill set that you have in your team to secure on those two infrastructures. That's fascinating. So now when we look into, so you have connected, you have globally in the mine, you've done security. How do you think about and how do you, we talk about digital resilience, we talk about digital day-to-day operation. So how does it, what does it mean for you in the mining industry? How do you monitor all of that? What does it mean operational resilience for mining, right?
So 5 nines is not an unknown in mining, especially for autonomy or autonomous operations. So it is making sure we know everywhere where the RF propagation models are. So we want networks which can self-detect, self-heal, and self-configure. That is my dream, but right now we do most of these things manually. And observability to know before the truck stops that there is something going on and a small anomaly is happening in the mine in terms of our network is really important for us.
That's really interesting. I believe you have even been using Thousand Eyes to be able to do those kind of things. So we'll hear from Prab in a few minutes. So maybe the next question is, you talk about connectivity and you mentioned about how wireless is critical in your environment. Can you maybe explain to the audience what do you mean by cellular? You have cellular, you have wireless, connectivity everywhere. What does it mean for mine and for you when you do your design? Tell us how you think about it, right?
I think in this day and age, a lot of people think cellular is everywhere and the wireless technologies is just cellular. But the reality is a little bit different when it comes to those remote mining operations. Wi-Fi still plays a huge role. So new wireless technologies, I don't think it's one or the other. It is about understanding how to merge both the benefits of cellular network, but also use Wi-Fi technologies hand in hand, and so that we can get the best of the both worlds.
No, that's really interesting. I have, maybe before we go to the next presenter, I have 2 last questions. The last one is, Ben had a fantastic slide at the keynote about AI, hype, value, the hype over the value. So I'm just curious, you're in mining. What does it mean AI for you? When you think about AI, when you think about your role as, managing the OT networks and re-engage into that, what resonates with you when you hear about AI? What do you think about? How does it impact what you do on a daily basis?
So for me, if I'm a little bit selfish, for me and my team, having the same capability like the AI canvas and Thousand Eyes and observability, that kind of a thing is really good, especially the auto-generated incident report. I think a lot of people in operations would love that. However, for me, what AI means is ability to, when I think about the mining operations and the operators, giving them information at the right time, the right information, so that they can make informed decisions on how to do predictive maintenance, how to make sure that we are applying the safety and solutions. And for that, it is so important that we build the AI-ready infrastructure, and connectivity is that big missing gap right now where we are operating.
No, that's very interesting. So you're saying yes to all the AI tooling we can give you to help you to operate,
yes,
but you also have to solve the connectivity for your environment, for your business to leverage AI use case. Fantastic. So last question. When you look into the future, right, what is your strategic business priority, right? When you wake up in the morning, Michelle, we want to know what is it that you think about and what do you want to do from a business standpoint, and just share a little bit your experience on that.
So I think for me, it would be the resilience and observability is really key, because we operate in those environments and knowing what's going on is really key for us. So more investment on understanding how we can have that better visibility and observability in the network is a key strategic tooling sets we should be looking forward to, so that the networks can itself self-heal and adapt to the environment. And the other one is very important for us would be to make sure that our network operations and security is on the cutting edge.
Well, so first I want to say thank you. I want to do 2 thank you, actually. Thank you for coming here and coming on stage. I know sometimes it's not very getting out of the comfort zone, but you've done fantastic, so thank you for that. Thank you for the trust into Cisco. And thank you because you are making me very easy to transition to the next speaker. You talk about your business priority being observability, right? And let's drill down a little bit on what we do. And I'm very happy to welcome on stage Prab, that's going to go and tell us a little bit more about what we do in AgenticOps. So thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, there you go.
Thanks, Michelle. I really appreciate you joining and sharing your insights. Hi, everyone. I'm Prab, and I wanted to kind of walk you through why agentic operations is a key pillar for us across future-proofing workplaces. And first off, just like defining what is agentic ops and how is this sort of evolution of what we've always thought about. First off, I think most of us likely already use agent systems in our personal lives anytime you're using ChatGPT or Claude or any of the frontier models, which is really around how do you actually build this new paradigm for operations that is built around not just observing and recommending where problems are occurring, but also taking action and going further in simplifying your operational workflows. And so what I want to do in the next 10 minutes is really talk to you about the pillars, the foundation of the pillars that we're building towards enabling agentic operations and ways we've already done this across our Cisco platforms. So first off, I think if you just talk about the basics and getting the basics right, we recently announced the ability to essentially manage across your Catalyst Center and Meraki environments a unified management platform that allows you to operate all your on-prem and cloud infrastructure. This is really key because if we want to be able to enable agentic operations, we want to make sure that we're providing you a single management platform where you can operate, configure, troubleshoot your infrastructure at scale. And this is really sort of the pillar that we need in order to enable that. Second, we've also recently announced the ability to bring fabric orchestration to the cloud. You've traditionally done this across Catalyst Center, where you operate SD access and enable adaptive segmentation for your on-prem infrastructure. We're bringing that to the cloud. So you can orchestrate your environment and actually enable adaptive segmentation, which is really around understanding intent and how users and devices should be configured with the right policies to access the right applications. And when we think about AI and agentic operations, it's not just about how we're enabling this within the dashboards. We're enabling AI across the entire infrastructure, API, and operational layers. First off, today, if you use on-prem access points or cloud-based access points, we are using machine learning today and AI to optimize your radios. Actually, most recently, AI IRM has seen to essentially improve radio resource management experience by up to 40% by dynamically turning radios off or on based on client traffic and experiences seen across an environment. We're obviously also enabling AI at the control layer. This is not something you see, but it's about how do you actually do things like endpoint analytics. So if we're trying to understand, what policies to set for end users, understanding what users are on the network is what type of user this is, what type of device this is, uses AI at that layer to identify the right endpoints and apply the right policies. And lastly, AI in the operational workflow. And this is really what I'm really excited about and what we've heard about our AI assistant and AI canvas really being this paradigm for how you interact with your data, how do you measure experience, how do you react and proactively manage these experiences for your users. And both the AI assistant, which is domain-specific assistant to help you configure, manage, operate networks, and AI Canvas are built upon our Cisco Deep Network Model. And this is really key because in order to enable the advanced assistant capabilities that we need to enable, we need to build network-specific large language models, or in this case, a small language model that allows you to troubleshoot using the specific information that you have. So we've been hard at work training our deep network model on CCI level question and answers, looking at Cisco University documentations, and in the future, looking at a golden set of TAC cases to help you be and have that assistant in line within your products to be able to troubleshoot. And as we actually continue to see the frontier models develop with GPT-5 and Claude 4.5, the deep network model, because it's being trained on specific Cisco information that's been hand-curated, will continue to outperform some of the frontier models that we see. So I'm really excited about the work that we're doing here, really at the foundation layer to ensure we can reason through problems for you when you really need us. Now, if we roll over to the video, I want to actually show you this in action. This is essentially our Cisco AI assistant in our cloud dashboard. And we're going to walk through an example where we actually configure a wireless network. And I'm going to run an automation that says to the AI assistant, I'd like to configure a wireless network across both my on-prem and cloud environments. It asks me, would I really like to do this? It asks me some information right in line within the assistant, asking for the SSID number, specific authentication encryption modes, my passkey. And as I enter those in, it'll go ahead and essentially instantiate under the hood what's called a Cisco workflow. And it'll again confirm the request. Again, because I'm going to make a change, it asks and confirms the intent. And the assistant at this point really goes on and creates and analyzes your Meraki networks across on-premise, across the cloud, and it also generates an output report that would allow you to kind of verify what it went ahead and done, and you can go back and verify this. And this is the point where you actually go and just get coffee because the assistant does the work for you and multitask in areas that you need to be able to do that. So as the assistant goes ahead and kind of creates the wireless network, it'll generate an output report of what it exactly did, all the configuration elements that it was able to configure. And again, this ensures that there's consistency of configuration because most common causes of issues are configuration drift over time that cause outages. And then I can go ahead and essentially verify that information and across both my on-prem where a new SSID has been configured and across the cloud where the new SSID that was just configured shows up. Now, if we roll over to sort of the next video, which is really around not just domain specific, but across multi-domain. And this is really exciting because it allows us to actually pull in not just information from Cisco platforms, but also third-party platforms that you rely upon to be able to troubleshoot live across multiple teams in real time and generate what's called a generative UI dashboard where you can pull in ServiceNow tickets. It understands context within its context window. It looks at the details that you need. And imagine a level 1 engineer that's essentially trying to triage this issue across a ServiceNow ticket can actually just ask the assistant that's embedded in the AI canvas to troubleshoot. And it actually understands how to troubleshoot the ticket based on the deep network model. It's able to actually retrieve data directly from ThousandEyes in this case to observe the metrics that it's seeing. It's able to see the end-to-end loss that it's seeing. And in this case, actually root cause analysis down to a specific device that's seeing the problem. And at this point, as a level 1 engineer, I may actually need to confirm with someone else on my team to actually understand what's happening. And so I can actually go up, understand the issue, and create a share link with a colleague of mine that needs to now go and further troubleshoot this process with me. And I can just quickly invite DJ to the team or to the AI canvas. It generates a summary of the entire troubleshooting process I've already gone through. That allows me to kind of cut down the time it takes to write up that report. And now that I've invited DJ, DJ comes and jumps back into that same AI canvas playground and is able to go further in the troubleshooting process using his or her own expertise. And in this case, DJ looks at the information that it's seeing and wants to correlate this to application server logs. And by using the AI assistant, it actually, under the hood, calls the Splunk MCP server, is able to get information from the Splunk logs and pin that to the dashboard to understand how there's a correlation between network loss and application performance. And we can keep going on this process, but the idea being how can we use AI Canvas as sort of your multiplayer generative UI dashboard playground to troubleshoot live things that allow us to move from reactive operations to proactive operations. So we'll continue on this journey. I'm really excited about the work that we're doing here across really enabling agentic operations across each of the domain platforms and across multiplayer. And I'm going to invite Matt over on stage now to really talk about the infrastructure investments we're making across devices to continue to enable us for the AI era.
Thank you so much, Prav. So let's dig into the next piece of this AI-ready secure networking architecture, which is the devices. And we talk about mission-critical environments very deliberately. And this doesn't refer just to things that we might historically have thought about as mission-critical, like an airport or a hospital. But the way we are all building our networks and using this technology to support our businesses makes it mission-critical essentially for all of us. So what does it mean to build hardware? that is designed for this sort of mission-critical AI-ready environment? Well, there are three key pieces, and one of them at the top, at the foundation of the hardware, is on the silicon. And that's where we as Cisco are able to make use of our expertise in order to develop custom silicon for our hardware, for our switches, for our routers, and that gives us a lot more control over the device itself, the design of the device, what it can do. We can bake more security capabilities into it, we can make it high performance, we can make it more accessible for the use cases that we envision for the future. We also need to develop and design the operating system, and having a common operating system with common sets of capabilities that you can use across switching, routing, wireless. And then the last piece is a system level design approach. We're able to think about the combination of that silicon, that operating system, the rest of the hardware design itself, in order to enable the hardware technology that can deliver on these AI-ready secure networks. And so I want to talk about some of the recent introductions that we have been making as we have started introducing new technologies for every place in the network. New switching, new routing, new wireless, new industrial devices like Michelle no doubt uses all throughout her installations. So let's jump into a few of these so you can see what they look like. First, I want to start with our new switching platforms. The Cisco 9350 access switch, the 9610 core chassis switch. And these new devices, of course, have all of the speeds and feeds, the high throughput, the low latency you expect. But they also feature new security capabilities, right? They are quantum resistant, post-quantum cryptographic ready. And this is an important thing for us all to start thinking about as we're deploying next generation networks that are going to be in service for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years to come, because we've all been there, especially in some of those mission critical environments where you can't take them down. And so we've developed this new generation of devices in order to support the performance and the security that you need for these types of AI workloads. Just as an example of some of the systems thinking comes from our new extended fast software update capabilities, XFSU. It's a bit of a mouthful. And the idea here is how do we enable the hardware to update itself as fast as possible without interrupting the traffic and taking down parts of the network. And if you're trying to watch the demo up there, good luck. It's too fast. I have a hard time getting a look at it, but this really emphasizes how fast and quick it is in order to run updates on these new generations of switches. And the time it takes to watch this quick little demo, you have upgraded your switch, and it's pumping user traffic through it. We've also introduced a new generation of our secure routers for the unified branch, for the campus. And again, these pieces of hardware are developed from the ground up to deliver the performance that you need, not just for routing, but also for the security capabilities that you want to run there. They support every different form factor, scale that you need, from small branches up to large data centers. We've introduced an entirely new line of industrial Ethernet switches, and I'm sure Michelle's got her eyes on these. Different form factors, different deployment models to support the modern factory, to support autonomous vehicles, to have large earth movers moving around, continuously connected, and I'll talk about some other technology that we're introducing there on the wireless front. So you'll see that at each place in the network, we're introducing new technology to support this new AI-ready secure networking architecture. On the wireless side, here at this conference this week, we've introduced the last models of our new Wi-Fi 7 portfolio. The first models we introduced here a year ago. The last set of indoor access point models we introduced here this week in order to round it out and support all of the different density and performance use cases you have. We introduced a new wireless LAN controller for small form factor, smaller deployments. And we also have made available a natively cloud-managed campus gateway that you can use to construct very large-scale campus networks that are fully cloud-managed without having to use the traditional on-premises managed wireless LAN controller architecture. So the last thing I want to mention is a combination of technologies that we introduced. Again, this idea of thinking at the systems level about how we can bring different use cases together in our hardware. And this is the introduction of our ultra-reliable wireless backhaul technology integrated into our enterprise wireless access points so that we can support ultra-reliable wireless backhaul, which we see in large-scale manufacturing operations, mining operations, as a very mission-critical, guaranteed connectivity, high-speed mobility way to connect devices in the same infrastructure that is also able to run Wi-Fi. And this is a truly important innovation because very rarely do we encounter environments where you want to have a proprietary wireless protocol but not also have Wi-Fi for your laptops, for your mobile devices, for all of the non-proprietary devices that you need to get on the network. And so we've brought these together with that systems level thinking so that we can enable deployments that do both. And so I know this was a lot of pieces, a lot of new devices that we've introduced. And if you have a few moments, I highly encourage you, they're all over there. Line of sight from where we are right now. Go walk around, have a look, poke around, see, touch, feel the devices. Don't taste them, I do not recommend that. But at least see them in person. And so with that, I want to move on to the last piece of this architecture, where we think about, and I've mentioned this many times, where we think about how security fits into the network. We make the point that it's fusing the network, and it's not like you take some bolt-on security module and create a platypus sort of network where you are thinking last about security. Instead, like us, we all need to think first about security. And so with that, I want to hand it off to my colleague, Neela, so he can go deeper and talk to you more about that. Thank you.
So about 2 weeks ago, the CIO of one of the most advanced hospital chains in the world came to visit us at Cisco in San Jose. And I was surprised to hear we were having a conversation around networking, and the main thing that he wanted to talk about was security. Because he says, what I'm most concerned about in a world today where I have hundreds of thousands of endpoints connecting into the network, where every new device to treat my patients is getting deployed every week. My concern is that the impact of any hack just simply goes up every single week. His question to me was, how can we ensure that we protect our hospital network, not just against the attacks that are happening today, but the attacks that'll happen tomorrow? And one specific area he wanted to talk about was to get our view at Cisco around something he'd been reading a lot more about, which is quantum computing. As you see on some of the articles that we have up here, we are very quickly getting to the point where we're all going to have a new tool out there, and that includes the hackers. You know, what's special about quantum computing? Quantum computing allows us to be able to decrypt the keys that have been keeping us safe for so many years. I was just yesterday talking to a large university here in the northeast of Australia, and they've got a whole active project going and studying quantum computing. The funny thing is, it's not even that the CIO has to worry about what's going to happen in the future. What we're starting to see right now, what he has to be concerned about, are hackers actually grabbing the information today, extracting it today, to be able to decrypt it in the future. And so why are we concerned about quantum and post-quantum cryptography? The idea is, if we take the keys that we have, the size of the keys, the rotation of the keys may be insufficient for the new quantum computers that are going to come online in the next 10 years. And so the question I get all the time is, you say that you want to fuse security into the network, but what does that mean practically? What can you do to secure your environment, whether you're a mining customer or a hospital or a retailer? Inherently, the way that you're going to protect your network for these new set of attacks is going to be similar. It has really three key pieces within the campus, and then we can think about going beyond. The first level is you have to think about the actual network devices. How do you ensure that those network devices are secure, and how do you make sure that you keep them updated to protect against the latest CVEs that are out there? Second, how can you protect the traffic that is flowing over your network? And then finally, how do we protect the users, the application, the devices that they're using to access your network? If you're able to protect at all three of those levels, then you can feel pretty confident that you have a secure network. So let's go through each of them one by one. The first piece, as I said, is ensuring that you have devices that are secure in themselves. what do you have to be worried about here? I mean, certainly you may be concerned around, hey, I just bought a switch. I just bought a router. How do I know someone didn't embed something in the supply chain? It got manufactured somewhere, it got to you. How can you ensure that no one has messed with that? But also, it's not just before you got it. At any time after it's deployed, you have to think about that someone could sneak in over the weekend and alter something on that device. So from Cisco's perspective, we have to take a zero trust approach. We have to take an approach that every time that device is booted up, we go through a series of checks to ensure that everything on that device is valid. And increasingly, as I talk about this, we have to do it in a way that is post-quantum secure. So what we have done with our latest generation of devices is that we've incorporated PQC, post-quantum cryptography, into all of the checks that we have in our hardware. So as you go ahead and you refresh your Cisco hardware in your environment, you're naturally going to get that level of protection. Now, point out, we're constantly being attacked. New attacks are coming out every day. And so you have to worry about also attacks coming from outside, targeting specific CVEs that are coming out. You're secure today. Tomorrow a CVE comes out. Are you secure tomorrow? I was recently in the northern part of England talking to a customer who said sheepishly, you know, the truth, Neela, is that I'm supposed to update my switches within 1 to 4 months, but do you know how often I actually do? I have switches that haven't been updated in over a year in my environment. Why? Well, we don't have that much time, but really one of the big concerns is there's never a good maintenance window for me. When is there a good maintenance window when I have a heartbeat coming from a patient 24/7 in a day? And so the question was, is there a way you could help me to not lose sleep at night, to keep me secure, even when I haven't patched my underlying hardware? And the good news is that coming very, very soon is a technology that'll allow you to do exactly that, called Live Protect. What Live Protect is about is utilizing a new technology called eBPF that has visibility down into the Linux kernel, the same kernel that is running on your hardware, with the ability to specifically see the instructions in the packet flow, to be able to observe or even block traffic that is going across your network that might actually cause harm. And so here I want to do a quick demo of this. Here what we're going to see is that we've got an administrator, and that administrator is looking through the CVEs that exist in their environment. In this case, some have been protected, but not all of the CVEs have protection. Here we see a CVE that is actually quite concerning. It's concerning not just because of its severity, but it's concerning because we actually don't have a patch yet. So even if he wanted to go and upgrade his switch, he can't do that yet. But that doesn't mean he can't be protected. And so we're going to go in and click in on this, learn a little bit about what that CVE is, and we quickly discover that we have to do something about this right away. And so let's go ahead and see how we can protect our environment in doing that. We can see that there's an actual device that is potentially affected by this CVE. And so I want to go ahead and apply a compensating control on that device to protect it. So here I'm clicking Deploy Live Protect. I'm going in and selecting the device that I want to protect with it and going ahead and clicking Next. When I do that, I have two options. I can either have observation and see, does that ever happen, generate an alert, generate a log, or I can say block that instruction, block that traffic. Depending on your environment, one or the other may be right for you. Regardless of which one you pick, however, you're immediately starting to track information. You can see whether that CVE is being accessed, that gets logged, and in fact, all of that rich information can be passed on to your SIM if you're using a SIM in your environment like Splunk. All of that information can then be passed to Splunk so that you can correlate it around all of the other information that you have in your environment around the CVEs that are out there and the threats that are out there. And so the point, as I said, is that Cisco is constantly working to keep each of your devices safe. Beyond the device, we have to think about protecting the traffic over the network. As you know, many of you are using IPsec, MACsec, WAN MACsec. All three of these are being upgraded to PQC versions of those with the key rotation, the key size that allows that traffic to be protected even in a world of quantum computers trying to decrypt that traffic. And finally, as was talked about earlier, when we think about security fused into the network, a network built for AI, we believe as Cisco that you want to think about more than just networking, more than just packet flow. You want to think about associating every flow with some type of policy. Whether you're just using SGTs, or you've gone more advanced and you've actually deployed a fabric in your environment, it is critical that every flow from end to end has policy attached, that you can apply that policy, and that that policy applies consistently across every element of your network. If you haven't yet looked into things like Cisco ICE, the ability to deploy SGTs, and fabric architecture, as we heard earlier, we now have fabric in the Meraki dashboard. This is something that you really need to go in and get a demo of. Finally, I want to point out that security doesn't end at the edge of the campus network. When we think about security, we also have to think about how do we extend that out. As I said, I've been meeting with a lot of hospital CIOs recently, and one of the constant themes that I hear is, I want to extend the patient experience from the hospital to the remote clinic. If I am here in Australia and I have a patient sitting in Ballarat who comes to Melbourne to be seen in the main hospital, when they go back to Ballarat and go into their clinic, you don't want the healthcare provider to say, oh, I'm sorry, I can't see all of the data because I'm not within the hospital network. All of the hospital chains want to extend that out, and so that requires things like secure SD-WAN, SSE in that environment, all working in concert with all of the technologies that we talked about, things like ICE and Access Manager. And finally, you want to ensure that you have a continuity of care, and that therefore requires assurance across the full spectrum of zero trust technologies that you've deployed. Only Cisco has every element and the visibility into every element to be able to give you that end-to-end control that you need. And so to wrap this up, what did we talk about today? We talked about the importance of operational simplicity in this new era. And that's going to require a new way to manage, with AgenticOps managed from the cloud or on premises. It requires a new kind of device with a different level of scalability, as well as a series of advanced capabilities built into the hardware to be able to handle these new workloads. And finally, we need security that is fused into the very heart of the network. Thank you very much for your time. I hope you have a chance to go in and look at our demos and look at the replays. Thank you.
Welcome back, and what a session it has been, the Keynote deep dive. But everyone joining in from home, please join in on the fun at hashtag Cisco Live APJC if you're around the grounds or if you're joining in from home. Please tell us your feedback. Which session was interesting? What are you looking forward to in the rest of the rest of Cisco Live? Next, we have a very special interview, which is sort of a new one for us from last few years. We have a first double interview where we have Linda and Buffy being interviewed by Dave and from CX. As you all know, I'm part of CX, so it is very special to have CX guests in the studio. So we're going to be hearing from Buffy and Linda around everything CX and how they're transforming Technical Assistance Center and Cisco support in terms of Cisco support that we provide to our customers, partners, and everyone else. This is an interesting one because it is sort of a new topic for all of us, but we will hear from Linda and Buffy. Over to you, Dave.
Thank you, Shika. Yes, that's right. It's fantastic to be joined with two special guests with us here. And I must admit, it has been a very CX and services friendly Cisco Live this year. Have had that feel, which is great. But and I'll just reference straight away, I love the TAC team. I love our engineers and our TAC team.
Thank you.
But I am joined here with Buffy Ransom and Linda Wang, both from our Global CX Centres, SVP and Technical Senior Lead. Welcome to the studio. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you for having us.
How has Cisco Live been for you both so far? It's the first time here?
Oh my gosh. Number one, this is my first time. So humbled to be here. Lovely people, great food. The interactions with our customers and partners have been absolutely fantastic. Really excited.
Yeah, that's fantastic to see. Buffy, I might start with you. We heard a lot about Cisco Live this year, a lot of AI talk and things like that. How is AI transforming the TAC centres and Cisco support?
Such a great question. And we've been doing, I guess maybe I'll start with a listening tour. We've been doing a bit of a listening tour over the past year through our surveys, through interactions with our customers. And what they're telling us is that they want resiliency, they want simplicity, they want time to value. And they're seeing that from a support perspective in moving from a reactive positioning of break-fix mentality to a proactive. They want a hyper-personalized experience. Know who you are, know my systems, know my technologies, make sure the recommendations are exactly what I need. And then lastly, they're telling us that they want almost preemptive solution. What's coming around the corner that I can't see, that I need to see? And so we're so excited to talk about our new unified AI-driven interface that's called Cisco IQ, and it's been splashed all over Cisco Live. It's been so exciting to see. We're really proud of the innovation that's been going on here. It'll give you insights like asset management insights, proactive reporting on the issues within your systems, P-certs, recommendations, certifications, security assessments across the organization as well. Really, really proactive. And then I guess maybe the last bit there that I think is really important, in the listening sessions, we needed to make sure that we could deliver this in all modalities. In the cloud, on-prem, and air-gapped as well. AI, API-driven, open for both our customers and partners to use as well. So we're totally excited.
I can
totally
feel the
excited.
excitement. It's fantastic. And I did have a sneak peek, obviously, in the keynote and Jackie's comments around the Cisco IQ. It's going to be powerful. It's revolutionary. So, Linda, over to you. So what are some of the key AI-powered features currently being deployed in Cisco support services?
Yeah, so like Buffy said, under the umbrella of Cisco IQ, we have customers have been using AI Assistant for support for years to get the case status or reach their assigned engineers. And we keep adding more functionalities and capabilities to our AI Assistant, most recently with generative AI. So with AI-driven insight and expertise, we are able to help our customers solve problems faster for higher uptime and greater resilience. For example, our AI Assistant for support, we can help our customer resolve issues 2 to 4 times faster with our automated troubleshooting workflows. And with the in-product support, we meet our customers where they are. Like Firewall Management Center, for example, the AI Assistant for support can provide self-service options for our customers and have the ability to create a tech case or service request automatically, along with the past case details, allowing our tech engineers to start from where you left off. And that will definitely enhance the efficiency and improve our customer experience. Also, we have been proactively detect the resolution of the hardware replacement using our RMA agent, achieving 6 to 12 times faster to get the hardware replacement authorization. So we're not end here yet, I know. So you might be wondering, so what else, right? We have been for years combining AI and our technical expertise to drive the human intelligence. So we already have AI system for our tech engineers also that's integrated into the tech engineers' day-to-day workflow, which can provide things like case handoffs, seamless case handoffs, as well as provide a complete summary of the caseloads that's supporting executive summaries, customer sentiment, actions taken, next steps, and expectations. And it's very proud to say that we have 80% of our cases now are only handled by one single case owner. So very proud of that. Yeah, and we always keep human in the loop as well. We combine the human elements, technical expertise, and AI innovations to work efficiently together.
That's amazing. And I hope some of my customers are listening because some of these new app features and
very
updates,
excited.
Very excited, I can feel it. What about for you, Buffy? And how do you see Cisco, our Cisco support offer evolving?
Back to the listening message, we listened, we were really complex in our offer structure. So now we've simplified it. We have 3. We start out with our standard offer. In the standard offer, it's a kind of a break fixed, but we also start to dabble and give you some insights. Then we have our enhanced. Enhanced is going to basically give you just a little bit more, also multi-vendor support. And then our richest offer is going to be our signature offer that actually has full Cisco IQ, talking to some of our best engineers for the quickest of resolutions as well. So really, really excited.
Yeah, absolutely. And just last question, I know you've got to get out of here, but just for some of our customers and partners at Cisco, how can they leverage the AI-powered support solutions?
I think, at the end of the day, let's go investigate and find more. You can go to cisco.com, go/services, and if you can attend some additional sessions remotely, of course, through the sessions through the rest of the week as well. Take a look at CX, anything that says AI-powered, take a look at that as well.
As I said, AI-powered, Cisco CX has been everywhere, but it's been a pleasure talking with you both. Buffy,
Dave.
Linda, thank you so much for your time. Everyone else, stay tuned. After this, we have an interview with Espen. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. What a great interview hearing from Buffy and Linda. Now we have a very special guest in the studio following another great session and a great video we saw about collaboration devices. We have Espen, who is our VP and General Manager for Collaboration Cisco Devices. Welcome, Espen.
Thank you, Shika.
How's Cisco Live been so far for you?
It's been amazing. It's amazing to meet the customers here, the local teams, our partners.
Yeah, we're really glad to have you in the region. Always great to have our VPs and collab leadership come into the region. So thank you for that. So we heard about the recent WebEx One event and in the keynote again at the Cisco Live about connected intelligence. What does it mean and why should it actually matter to our customer?
Connected intelligence is the future of collaboration. It's where people to people, people to AI, and AI to AI interactions are coming seamlessly together. This is crucial at this point in time for our customers, where the nature of the workforce is dramatically changing, and people have to relate to their digital teammates. So with connected intelligence, we will be able to unlock opportunities for our customers to do things they never dreamed possible before.
That sounds incredible. I know a lot of customers would be very excited to see what all we can do with connected intelligence. So it really up-levels the collaboration devices experience for our customers. So how is Cisco using connected intelligence to build the best experiences for our customers?
Yeah, so talking about the devices, the current wave of AI is about agentic AI. So we are introducing some amazing new agentic capabilities to our devices. One is the note taker, which is the agentic experience delivering AI notes. Means that if you go into a meeting room, enable AI notes, have your conversation with your team, we will capture the meeting, we will give you the transcript, we will give you the action items, and enable you to follow up and make you so much more productive. Another one is more towards this journey we're on with Distance Zero and making sure that you always have the best possible human-to-human interaction in virtual meetings. So we are announcing the Agentic Director. This is like a human director. It will see the dynamics of the room. It will always capture the right camera for the best angle and provide the camera mode that is fit for the dynamics of the meeting.
Yeah, no, awesome to hear all the innovations. And I know now that after COVID, offices are starting to come back in, like people are coming back into the offices, this experience for a seamless hybrid experience for people being in the office, at the home, I think that would be a game changer.
It is.
And I think one thing that a lot of customers are very excited about being in Collab, I can confirm, is the RoomOS 26. And you talked about that, and you have an upcoming center stage session where you're going to talk about that. So what can you tell us about the latest OS?
Yeah, so RoomOS is our biggest update ever. We're super excited about it. It's the update that takes us into the agentic era. But we're not only introducing new agents, we're also doing a massive upgrade to the entire graphical interface. We are evolving our Momentum design language. We are providing 12 new amazing wallpapers that are humanly curated, but also AI refined and can blend into every workspace.
Awesome.
We are doing an amazing uplift to our sharing experience, making it so much easier for you to share wirelessly or wired in a conference room. We are making texts more readable and in general kind of refining every single part of obsessing over the details in the user interface.
We love obsessing over the details, but we still want to make it simple for our customers.
It's getting even simpler.
Yeah, exactly. So I know like this is a massive change from product team perspective, from devices perspective, but if a customer wanted to deploy it, is it easy? Is it simple? Because we don't want to complicate it too much. So
no, the deployment is getting so much simpler because we are obsessing over the experience for our end users, but equally so for the owners of the service.
Exactly.
And there's a couple of things we're really expanding on with this upgrade. One is we're expanding our interop capabilities, the abilities for our devices to be used in any environment. So with this upgrade, we're also introducing native Zoom meetings on our devices.
Yeah.
So there's no reason for Zoom customers not to really kind of embrace the best of breed devices in their environment. And
I think like integration with Microsoft Zoom, I think that would also change the game for all our devices customers. Last thing before we go, we do have a Keynote deep dive. What's the best thing of Melbourne? Just 2 words so far. Cisco Live Melbourne.
It's not the weather.
it's definitely not the weather.
But it's the people. The people here are amazing. We've been greeted so well, and we've had so many great interactions.
Thank you.
So
thank you, Espen. It was awesome to have you here.